There's some injury news that released in the past half an hour. What was the go with Jordan De Goey's hand?
Yeah, broken hand. Levi we knew about last Friday. He had a hip issue about 3 weeks ago. Gave it time to settle, but we'll need surgery today. So, and then we declared Jamie. So there's sort of just to keep ahead of the curve and to let everyone know what's going on, I suppose. With our list, we've got 38 players to pick from. So I think comparatively we're actually in really good shape. But we will talk about the 7, I presume.
How did Jordan sustain his injury at home?
You won't believe me.
Give us a go.
Oh, okay. He was playing with his dog.
Yeah.
And if we don't laugh, we'll cry about it. I will anyway. But no, he's playing with his dog, and he went to throw a toy. It wasn't a frisbee, but he did go to throw a toy to him and caught his hand on the edge of a door handle. So he's broken that hand before further up. So they say that's part of the mechanism, that there wasn't a lot of give in it. So on the end of his knuckle there, on his pointer finger. So it's unfortunate for him. He's had a bit of a broken preparation. So we were working to get him back up to be available for this week, and he would have been around the mark. But yeah, he'll miss 3 or 4, depending on how the surgery goes and how he recovers. But we know we'll have him back in a month's time.
With Levi, was it something that's built up over time, or was it a particular incident?
No, it was an incident at training, and then he jagged it again against Fremantle. So those hips can be a little bit grumbly, and it takes a little bit of time to get it right. So, he'll be once again. We'll see how the surgery goes, and give that time to get back.
I saw Daniel Wells was starting to get up a bit of a clip at training this morning.
Yeah.
How far away is he?
Oh, look, we've got him. The program he's on at the moment has him playing some footy in round 3. So he's building towards that. And the last couple of weeks have been really encouraging for us. So we're just going to take every marker as it comes and give him every chance.
And Pendle's Achilles obviously totally fine. Good.
3 down, there's 4 you've missed.
What exactly is the Jamie Elliott injury? His ankle?
Ankle. And we scanned again to see how it was going. The syndesmosis is good. There's a bit of bone bruising. We'll see him out on the track early next week. And he's basically full loading on his leg now. So he's going to be skinny looking at Richmond in round 2. But we won't take that off the table yet, but it'd be unlikely. But we're not talking about a stress fracture of his back or something that's going to keep him out for the whole year. It's something that we know is manageable, and we'll give him every chance to get over it.
Plenty of optimism going into round 1 last year, and then you sort of got the wind knocked out of your sails early. How do you guard against a similar performance this year?
Oh, look, we're really looking forward to the start of the year. It's been a really strong preparation for us. We don't prepare to have 22 blokes play 22 weeks. We prepare to prepare the depth of the squad to play roles as expected and as required. And we're going to leave some blokes out that deserve to play this week. The job's made a little bit easier with Geordie's injury over the weekend, but that's footy. We're really confident that we'll put in a competitive 22, and really looking forward to getting the season started for us on Friday night. And we've got some challenges early in the year, and we're looking forward to them all.
Is it going to be a weird feeling seeing Trav in a different jumper?
Well, of course it will. He's been here for the majority of his career, all of his career as a father-son, and to see him in that first JLT game against Melbourne in a 13 Guernsey with the Dogs jumper was different. The boys will get to see it close up clearly, he really is another opposition player when you get to game day. The guys are still great mates with him, still catch up, and he's given great service to this club over a long period of time. So, we leave that in the locker room, and then we go to town when we play against each other.
How do you expect
can we expect to see this on Friday night?
You should expect to see a couple. We've got 4 or 5 that are well and truly in the mix. Henry Shade and Lyndon Dunn down back have been first class. Will Hoskin Elliott and of course Chris Mayne up forward. So those boys have really had strong preparations and have put themselves in the frame.
Can both Shade and Dunn be in the same side early doors?
They could. Yeah, they could, Rob. Are they on your side?
Still tinkering.
Yeah, we've been pretty transparent. I reckon our 25 isn't going to be hard to pick. The 22 will be, because there'll be 3 or 4 blokes that'll be left out that'll be really stiff.
Just on Travis again, a bit of talk among the supporters about how he's going to be received and booing and that sort of thing. How would you like him to be received by the Collingwood supporters?
In a very Collingwood manner, give him all the support we can. Look, I did read with interest Bevo's comments around sort of expectation, and I think there was really heavy expectation on Cloke. There's a heavy expectation on most Collingwood players when they pull the Guernsey on. Sometimes it's not a relative or a fair expectation, but Cloke will see that'll shift a little bit. Even with the premiers, his expectation of performance might be a little bit lower or a little bit more basic. But for us, we expect our boys to go out and give their best, play well as teammates for each other, and the rest looks after itself. That's our expectations.
You mentioned their mates off the field still, but do you still think there might be a little bit of argy-bargy between them and Clokey before the game or early doors?
Potentially. You'd have to ask the boys, but we've got some yappers, not a lot. We've got mostly honest guys that head down, bum up, and get to work. I don't know how much Clokey would want to engage in that either.
How far off is Dacos, given some of your smaller forwards are potentially underdone?
Yeah, he's a first-year player that's shown some really good signs in some really small patches, but we'll help him develop over the season. And you never say never, but if he keeps putting his foot forward the way that he has and taking his chances, then his opportunities will come. But he's a light frame kid. His first year into a system that he's still learning about and still developing. We don't have those high expectations that the external view might be that he'll be a best 22 player early this season. It'll take time. What we see of him is a good snapshot, and we're excited by that. Looking forward to him building from that.
Have you detected any evolution in the way the Dogs play over the JLT?
I think that you take that into account, but it's not the be-all and end-all. I think we see a lot of sides throwing some things around through the practice match series. Definitely the teams shift quite considerably. The last week is probably a closer indicator, given that we're less rotations and you're sort of down to the 24 that you think are mostly in the mix. But we'll have there's a possibility we'll have a couple that didn't play last week that will come in, and probably similarly for the Bulldogs. But they're still a really hard running side, really strong defensive presence, multiple options in attack. And probably the one of the better contested ball out number side. So they're the premiers for a reason, and they give everyone plenty to think about.
Is it a good thing that you're starting the season against the premiers, or a bad thing?
Oh, it's fantastic. I don't have a choice. We don't have a choice, but it's great. I mean, we on the G Friday night, having had a chance to have a look at the game before, the Carlton-Richmond game, it's just a fantastic opportunity. Blokes that are new to Collingwood to get an opportunity to go out. We want to. We're really looking forward to the challenge of playing the premiers, and they've earned everyone's respect, and we want to do the same.
How are you feeling as senior coach going into a season where you've already put some pretty high expectations on yourself over the summer?
Yeah, pretty good. We can only ever look after the things that are in front of us and how we go about it. And we've been really consistent in our work ethic, in our application. As I said, we're a really honest group. I've sensed through the off season that, and I don't expect this to last, but I think there's a sense of goodwill even for non-Collingwood people having a look at our playing list, the type of characters that we have there. We've got some hard-working guys that just do their best and are prepared to get their hands dirty on the field in particular, but in preparation. We've got some young players there that have been struck down by injury and haven't had a chance to fulfil their potential, and we hope to see that this year. And you've got some young leaders that are rounded people, Darcy Moore, Brody Grundy, just some Jackson Ramsey, just some guys that are just decent kids that we just want to see how good they can be as footballers. So I think there's a sense that we want to go and explore that. So the pressure is there. I mean, we put ourselves under a lot of pressure because we expect to perform, and we expect a certain level of teammanship in the way that we go about it. But the external pressures will be a product of our actions.
Nathan, last week there was an extensive story on the AFL website about you and sort of, your evolution, I guess.
The bloke that wrote it's in front of you.
Yeah,
exactly. What did you
Credit
make
him, please.
Mr. Peter Ryan of the website. What did you make of it?
I'll go this way. I sat down with Pete and we had a chat, a general chat around sort of the expectations coming into the year and what that was going to look like, and the external focus is always going to be there. There's always going to be people with opinions on where things are sitting, and the fact is that we are a club that are always going to be under scrutiny. Our players, especially our young players, have got a bit of an idea on that and a bit of a handle on it, and are now better placed to be able to address it and attack it. And personally, as a senior coach, I mean, I'm loving this role more than I ever have. Got a great team around me in the coaching staff and in our wider football staff, and we've been a really, really positive summer. I feel like we might have been here a couple of times before, but not quite as robust. But really looking forward to the challenges that the season's going to present to us and how we handle them. It's exciting times.
It's well publicised. You went to Stanford, and the article spoke about that and the things you learnt from that.
Yeah.
How much better prepared do you feel as senior coach, say, from a year ago? Which we've spoken about.
Yeah, well, not all of my professional development has been publicised. I wouldn't read too much into Stanford alone, or going to San Fran, or the teams that we saw there. In isolation, they just add a little bit to the mix. Just pause for thought or consideration on how you do things, and that's all you're looking for when you do a lot of this PD stuff, is to check against your own processes and how can you find that extra 1 or 2% or even a bigger 5 or 10% shift. So I'm doing it. Our head of conditioning performance is doing it. Our coaches regularly looking for an edge and how they can do their jobs better, our players as well. So it's just part of an overall philosophy to find our best.
What was your reaction when Jordan De Goey let you know he'd broken his hand in the way he did?
Initially just sort of the head went back a little bit, I would have thought, but no, look, it was, you got, as I said, you got to laugh. You got to laugh at it. It would have been great to have Geordie available for the first month. We're not going to. So you've got to address that and move on pretty quickly. Sure. We might try and find a way to lock the boys' dogs up at some point, sort of through that last month of the pre-season, and because there's a bit of a pattern emerging here with playing with your pets.
Sharonberg, is he available for selection this week?
Yeah. So as I said, 38 players are available for selection. If my conditioning staff can provide that for the coaching staff every week, we'll be pretty happy.
Nathan, apologies if you've addressed it previously, but the AFL Commission today deciding on a potential twilight grand final. Do you have a view on when you want the game to be played?
I didn't get that. Is that exactly when it's going to happen?
Not necessarily, no.
They're deciding today.
Potentially deciding today.
Love to get there, and then we'll play whenever they want us to play.